deep in the jungle, where the air is thick and the ground trembles with every step. Something ancient was about to awaken. Legend spoke of a creature so large, its shadow could silence a valley. 200 feet long, thicker than a bus, a serpent from the dawn of time. They called it Titan Boa. For years, it was just a myth, a story whispered around campfires, a warning for explorers who dared go too far. But one day, the jungle stopped whispering. It screamed. It began like any other morning. The mist was heavy, the air almost too still. A herd of elephants made their slow journey through the marshes, 8 of them moving in perfect rhythm. But nature had already shifted. Something below was waiting. When the herd reached the river crossing, the leader hesitated, her trunk raised, listening, smelling, sensing what others could not. The younger ones pushed forward, splashing, trumpeting, and in that moment the water exploded. A wave of mud, a flash of scales, a scream, and then silence. When the herd reached the far side, one was missing. The matriarch roared in confusion, but there was no answer. Later that day, a team of rangers arrived. They followed the riverbank, their boots sinking into soft mud, each step uncovering something stranger. Trees bent unnaturally, as if something massive had pushed through. Deep grooves cut into the soil, each one wide enough to fit a human body. And there, half buried in the mud, a single print, circular, perfectly round, larger than a truck tire. Something had crawled through here, something alive. As night fell, a distant rumble echoed through the valley. At first, they thought it was thunder. Then the earth shook again, closer, heavier. The rescue team scanned the water. Their lights barely cut through the fog. But beneath the surface, a shadow moved, slowly, patiently, with purpose. It wasn't hunting anymore. It was digesting. The missing elephant was somewhere beneath that water, and the monster was resting. Back at camp, the footage was reviewed frame by frame. A moving ridge across the waterline, a brief glimpse of golden green scales, one enormous, eye-catching the reflection of light. "That's not a normal python," someone whispered. "That's something else." They debated through the night. Was it a threat? A mutant species? Or something prehistoric that had survived undetected? The decision came before dawn. A rescue operation. 2 helicopters. 4 boats. 5 trained officers. Their mission: find the serpent, confirm the kill or the capture, recover the elephant if there was still time. The swamp was vast, endless water, rotting trees, and the smell of death in the air. Leeches clung to their legs. Mosquitoes clouded their vision. Every splash felt like it could be their last. Hours passed with nothing. Then a tremor beneath the surface. A subtle wave. A low growl, too deep to be human. "It's close," whispered the team leader. "Stay quiet." The sound grew louder. Something brushed against the bottom of one of the boats, hard and smooth. Then another hit. Then a tail rose out of the water, thick, armored, endless. Titan Boa had found them. The surface broke. A head the size of a car lifted from the swamp. Its eyes glowed like molten gold. Its jaw opened, wider than any animal alive. The crew froze, and then chaos erupted. The snake lunged at the nearest boat, snapping it in half with one violent strike. Men screamed. Water turned black. The remaining boats scattered, circling the creature as tranquilizer guns fired. The darts hit, but bounced off its scales like pebbles. Shoot the soft spot, under the jaw. The leader shouted over the noise. They tried again. 1 dart, 2, 3. Finally, the fourth hit true. The beast hissed, thrashing violently. Waves crashing against the mangroves. It vanished below the surface. Hours passed. No movement. The jungle returned to silence. Then, from the distance, a cry. A human voice. One of the downed rescuers had survived, clinging to the wreckage of his boat. When they pulled him out, his eyes were wide, his hands trembling. "It's not dead," he whispered. "It's moving toward the village." Panic set in. They radioed for the chopper. Engines roared to life. The chase was on. By the time they reached the edge of the village, fog had rolled in thick as smoke. The helicopter hovered low, its spotlight slicing through the mist. Then the ground erupted. Titan Boa rose like a living mountain, its massive body cutting through trees, its mouth opening toward the light. The helicopter pulled up, barely escaping the jaws that snapped inches below. Tranquilizer darts rained from above. 10, 20, 30. Each one sinking deep this time. The serpent slowed, shuddered, and finally collapsed. The ground shook as it fell, and silence returned once again. When they reached the body, the snake was still breathing. Slow, heavy breaths. Thermal scans showed movement inside. The elephant, still warm, with knives and saws. They began cutting through the thick scales. The smell was unbearable. Steam and blood filled the air. Then a sound, a faint trumpet. The elephant's trunk moved. It was alive, barely, but alive. Cheers broke through the night. Men cried. Even the jungle seemed to exhale. They wrapped the elephant in nets, lifted it onto a recovery trailer, and for the first time in days, the team felt hope. Titan Boa was sedated, tagged, and transported to a restricted wildlife zone. Scientists estimated its age at over 300 years, a survivor from another world. It was the largest living predator ever documented. But to the locals, it was still a ghost, a spirit, a warning. They called it the shadow of the river. Some say it still moves beneath the water, resting, waiting, because creatures like this don't die easily. The elephant lived. Though scarred and weakened, it returned to its herd months later, a living reminder of nature's brutality and its mercy. They say the jungle remembers everything, every scream, every shadow, every life taken, and every life spared. The river flows quietly now, but when the wind changes, you can still hear it, a low hiss, echoing through the trees, and somewhere below the surface, a ripple moves again, because in the wild, nothing ever truly ends.